Ark of the Covenant, lost, hidden or protected until the end times. Untold Bible Stories series. What if the most sacred object in history, a chest forged by God's own design, hasn't been lost, but is instead waiting, hidden, for a final cataclysmic role in the story of humanity? What if the Ark of the Covenant, the legendary vessel of divine power, is more than just a relic, but a weapon, a communication device, and a key to unlocking the prophecies of the end times? This is the secret history of the Ark, a journey not into a forgotten myth, but into a mystery that connects the dawn of faith with the twilight of our world. Part 1. The Ark's mysterious construction. The story begins not on a battlefield, but on a sacred mountain shrouded in smoke and thunder. The book of Exodus describes God giving Moses more than just the 10 Commandments. He delivers a divine blueprint for an object of unparalleled power. The instructions are meticulous, a fusion of sacred geometry and otherworldly engineering. The Ark was to be a chest, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 wide and 1.5 high, crafted from incorruptible acacia wood and overlaid inside and out with the purest gold. It was a vessel designed for eternity, a physical manifestation of God's covenant with his people. But this was no ordinary chest. Atop its lid, known as the mercy seat, 2 magnificent cherubim were to be hammered from pure gold, facing each other with their wings outstretched, creating a sacred space above the Ark. It was here, between these celestial guardians, that God promised to dwell. His very presence, the Shekinah glory, would manifest as a cloud by day and a fire by night, communicating directly with Moses. This wasn't merely a symbol of God's presence. It was a physical throne, a portable Sinai, where heaven and earth would meet. The construction itself was a holy act, entrusted only to the master craftsman Bezalel, a man described as being filled with the Spirit of God, endowed with wisdom, understanding, and knowledge in all manner of workmanship. This divine inspiration suggests the Ark's design was beyond human ingenuity, a piece of heavenly technology brought to earth. Part 2. The Ark's hidden power. The Ark was never meant to be a passive object of veneration. It was a conduit of terrifying and awesome power, a force that demanded absolute reverence and commanded the very laws of nature. Its holiness was so intense that to touch it unworthily was to invite instant death, a lesson learned tragically by Uzzah, who was struck down for merely steadying the Ark as it faltered. Even the Levites, the priestly tribe designated to carry it, could not lay hands upon its golden surface. They used long poles inserted through rings, maintaining a sacred distance, for to approach God's throne unshielded was to be consumed by its raw, untamed energy. This power wasn't just defensive, it was active and miraculous. When the Israelites, after 40 years in the wilderness, finally reached the Promised Land, they faced the raging floodwaters of the Jordan River. But as the priests carrying the Ark stepped into the current, the river stopped in its tracks. The waters upstream piled up in a heap, defying gravity and clearing a path for the entire nation to cross on dry ground. It was a reenactment of the parting of the Red Sea, a clear demonstration that the same divine power that liberated them from Egypt now resided within this golden chest. The Ark was a divine key, capable of bending reality to God's will, a constant, terrifying reminder that the Israelites were led not by a king or a general, but by the Creator of the universe himself. Part 3. The Ark as a battlefield weapon. The Ark's power was not limited to miracles of nature. It was a formidable weapon of war, the ultimate force multiplier on the ancient battlefield. Its most famous deployment came at the siege of the impenetrable city of Jericho. For 6 days, the Israelite army marched in silence around the city walls, led by 7 priests sounding ram's horns and the Ark of the Covenant. They offered no attack, no siege engines, no battle cries. It was a procession of faith, a psychological and spiritual assault. On the 7th day, they circled the city 7 times. At the final, thunderous blast of the horns and a great shout from the people, the massive walls of Jericho crumbled to dust. It was not the strength of the Israelite army that brought the city down, but the focused, concussive power emanating from the Ark. This was not an isolated event. Throughout the book of Joshua and into the time of the judges, the Ark led the Israelite armies into battle. Its presence guaranteed victory, its absence certain defeat. When the Philistines captured the Ark, they believed they had captured Israel's God. But they soon learned they had captured a curse. Placed in the temple of their god Dagon, the Ark toppled the idol, breaking it to pieces. It then unleashed a plague of tumors and panic upon every Philistine city it entered, a wave of divine retribution so devastating that the terrified Philistines eventually returned the Ark, laden with guilt offerings, desperate to rid themselves of its terrible power. They had learned a vital lesson. The Ark of the Covenant was not an idol to be controlled, but a weapon of a living God, and it fought only for him. Part 4. The Ark's disappearance. For centuries, the Ark was the heart of Israel's worship, eventually finding its home in the Holy of Holies, the innermost sanctuary of Solomon's magnificent temple in Jerusalem. Here it rested, veiled from all eyes except the high priest, who would enter its presence only once a year on the Day of Atonement. But then, in one of history's greatest mysteries, it vanished. The last definitive mention of the Ark in the Bible is in the reign of King Josiah, around 622 BC, when he orders it to be returned to the temple. Just a few decades later, in 586 BC, the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar conquered Jerusalem, sacked the city, and destroyed Solomon's temple. The biblical accounts of the looting are incredibly detailed, listing the gold and silver vessels, the pillars, and all the treasures the Babylonians carried away. Yet in this meticulous inventory, there is a deafening silence. The most important object of all, the Ark of the Covenant, is never mentioned. Did the Babylonians take it and melt it down, its significance lost on them? Or, foreseeing the coming invasion, did the priests and prophets enact a secret plan? Did Jeremiah, as the non-canonical book of 2nd Maccabees suggests, take the Ark and hide it in a cave on Mount Nebo, sealing the entrance until God would gather his people again? Or was it spirited away through a secret network of tunnels beneath the Temple Mount, as some legends claim, where it remains to this day, guarded and waiting? Its disappearance marks the moment the tangible presence of God departed from Israel, leaving behind a void that has puzzled historians and fueled the quests of adventurers for millennia. Part 5. The prophecy of its return. The story of the Ark is not over. Its disappearance is not an ending but an intermission. Ancient prophecies and sacred texts hint at a dramatic final act. The book of Revelation describes a scene in heaven where God's temple is opened, and the Ark of his covenant was seen within his temple. For many theologians, this is a vision of the heavenly original, but for others it is a prophecy of the earthly Ark's rediscovery, a signpost of the end times. Its reappearance would be a world-altering event, a signal that God's final act in the drama of human history is about to begin. Jewish tradition holds that the Ark is hidden, protected, waiting to be installed in the Third Temple, the construction of which is a central prophecy related to the coming of the Messiah. Some Christian interpretations connect the Ark's return to the tribulation, a period of global upheaval preceding the second coming of Christ. Could the Ark be revealed as a final test of faith, or a weapon in the ultimate battle between good and evil at Armageddon? From a cave in the Judean wilderness to a secret chamber beneath Jerusalem, or even a forgotten church in Ethiopia, the search for the Ark continues. But perhaps it is not meant to be found by explorers. Perhaps it will only be revealed by divine appointment, when the world is in its greatest need of a sign, when heaven is ready to once again touch the earth and the King is ready to reclaim his throne.